So, bit of a recap. My top lows might not be somebody else's top lows, but what you'll find is people just have slight different variations in what lows they use. Like I said, they might use a soft shad. They might use another soft shad that's got a chatterbait blade on it. Both will work. You can take the blade off, it'll be exactly the same. Both loads will work. So don't be too, if you've already got soft shad, don't go out and buy relaxed bit of shad if you've already got the shad. They're exactly the same. You will get some that's slightly better because of the tail action, but a soft shad's a soft shad. As long as that tail wiggles about, a big paddle tail on it, that's a bit that does the trick. Get a selection of jig heads, both in size and both in weight. So get something like 3s, 7s and 10 gram jig heads, which gives you options, and get 10, 20, 30 hooks. So that'll cover your 2-inch and your 2.5-inch soft shads. As long as you've got a selection of those, you can cover most situations. Don't be worried about colours, but I do have colours. Orange. I mean, I've got absolutely loads of them, just too many, but I usually just stick to white. So if you've got a MEP spinner, don't go out and buy a blue Fox 5 racks, whatever. Just a simple spinner works. They're great lows. I mean, the real cheap ones often don't work that well, so try and get an half decent make. But if you find a cheap one that works, the great thing about cheap lows, you're not scared to throw them near trees. I mean, I pick up second-hand shops sometimes for the pound, or off eBay for the pound, and you're not scared of throwing that near tree roots and stumps. And I've picked up some good fish just doing that. A simple spinner, copper spinner, silver spinner. I could try colours like the bright yellow ones that I've got. My soft foreplay. When you come to, well, you see behind me, I'm actually at a lock, but when you come to lock gates, drop that straight down the wall, and just jig it back up and down right along the wall, and you'll find perch hanging out there. Drop it down, leave it, flick it a little bit, leave it, and lift it right back up and back down. And that low like that will catch you loads of fish. On the harness, nice and steady through fast water. That'll get your chub. As big as that is, don't worry about a chub, will easily take that. That just looks like a minnow to a chub. Work it through fast water, nice and steady, and that tail will flutter about and it'll just glide about all over, and you'll just pick up fish on that. Really good lows to use. And like I said before, that lure especially comes in more size. It comes in a 13 centimetre, which is really good for pike, especially jack pike, and it comes in 19 centimetre, which is hopefully better for big pike for you. So just scaling up a low that you know works, use it and it'll catch fish. The jointed Riverpiker, absolute awesome low. Thing to think with these is if you pretty much think a 7 centimetre one will dive to about 6 feet. So if you said a foot per centimetre, 7 centimetre one will dive to 7 foot roughly. But if you think more like 6, but a 5 and 6 centimetres work. Sort of a bigger 9 centimetre versions. But I choose a 7 because it's big enough to get a big profile, a lot of noise, a lot of flash, and that'll catch you small perch, pretty much as big as that low. It'll catch you big perch. Yeah, I've had some really big perch on that. Demon chatterbait. The lure to pull out of the bag when nothing else is working. When you're struggling, put that on. It'll catch you a jack pike at least. Bit of a noise that it gives. It's just a total different lure. Don't look like anything else. Like I say, straight retrieve, but you can lift it up. I sort of like pulse it, so it comes up and then slowly goes down in a constant move. So I'll use it faster, slower, faster. It's like a constant pulsing, vibrating noise, and that'll get you fish. If your water's clear, get your soft shad on. If it's a little bit murky, put your chatterbait on, and they're great for finding out what fish are living in your waters. Even if it's something smaller and it's small perch that chase it, it gets the attention, and you know they're there then. So you know there's some fish there, and you can switch them. Put on a small Rapala, put on a small shad, and that's it. Simple as that. Top 5 lures. So the most important bit when you've got those 5 lures is knowing how they work, and then where to use them. And it's lure selection. You see a lot of people lure fishing when they start out, or they're just inexperienced, never been shown by somebody. Kids, for example, might not have been shown by anyone, and they're casting a spinner, small tiny spinner, and they're hoping for pike. It will catch a pike, but that's not what you'd go out for pike with. But casting a small spinner over deep water, and you're just wasting your time. You want to get a shad with a decent weight on it, and get it down bottom, get it down there. So lure selection is most important. You might be fishing a deep canal, you might be fishing a small river that's tiny, perfect for your little spinner. Fast water, slow water. So if you've got a bit of a current, using a plug like a Rapala, you can work it in the flow, and you can hold it in there. You can let the current, if you know how fast it sinks, which is this is pretty slow, you can pull it into the current, and then you can just leave it and let it go back down. Keep in contact with your line, let it flow back down and back in again, and you can pretty much keep it in the same place. You can just hold it there and it'll just keep wiggling. But all these things make your lure work and do it. You are lure fishing, so it's you that's got to put the action into it and create something that's a little bit different to everything else. And that's what you're trying to create. So your lure choice is important. Soft shads are cheap. If you're paying silly money for these, then you're looking wrong places. But these kind of things are really cheap. Cheap jig heads, cheap soft shads, and you'll throw them anywhere. Then you will bounce them across bottom. If you find that it's a really snaggy riverbed, then don't let them bounce bottom. If you find a nice canal bottom or a nice sandy bottom river, get them bouncing on bottom. Leave them down there. You don't be afraid to leave it for 5 seconds and then let it go again and bounce it across bottom, puffing up the clouds of silt. Great lure. So you'll notice in a few of my videos I've mentioned that I often just use these 2 lures, especially if I'm fishing a canal. But a great lure to find out what's in your canal and where they are. I'll often use other lures that I might enjoy using more, but these are the lures I'll use to find fish because I know the catch. So you find canals. Inside margin might be 5 foot deep, roughly. Depends on, there's other canals that might be only 3 foot, but often 5 foot deep, and that'll work perfectly along the bottom, just above the bottom. You can cast it 30 foot, bring it back, and that'll work most of that bottom all the way along. Deeper areas or around locks and things, if you're fishing right below your feet, there's no point casting that because it won't dive down below your feet, but that'll sink straight to the bottom below you. Just jig it right below your feet and that'll catch your fish that way. So by those 2 I know I'm covering most of the water on a canal. Canals are pretty uniform, they can just be square or they can be ledges with another drop off ledges. So with those 2 lures you work in those areas. If you're fishing a river, a lot more variety to a river with deep pools, shallow fast water. That's where you need to use your brain a little bit more. You might use a spinner in the faster water, say 2 foot to 4 foot depth. That'll be spot on for that. Or you might use a soft foreplay on the harness through that same 2 foot to 4 foot depth. Slightly deeper, and you'd be using your soft foreplay or your shad, your coffee toe shad. If you know the water's about 6 foot deep all the way through, you might want your chatterbait on, or you might use your Rapala through it. Rivers tend to eat Rapalas, so watch out for snags. So chuck your soft shad through first. Once you've fished a spot and you know it's not too snaggy, use a jointed repiler. Obviously, like I said before, smaller version won't dive as deep. It'll have a smaller lip, smaller body, so it won't dive as deep. So you can use that in 5 foot or 5 centimetre one in 5 foot of water. But that in 10 foot of water is perfect. It's going to go down 6 foot. It's going to be down in the zone. Pike will come up for it. Perch will hear it coming, so they'll come up for it. Like I say, work it through your waters. Think about why you're using it. If you have some success, remember what you were doing, why you got that success, and repeat it in new places. If you're not catching fish on all these lures, then if you're not catching fish on all these lures, move, go somewhere else, because those lures catch fish. It's as simple as that. So that is all you need. I mean, I've got 2 boxes here. I've got 2 boxes of lures, and that's 2 boxes too many. You only need those 5 lures and away you go. And that's it. So anyway, as I mentioned, Repiler, that is one of the best lures to pick. If you've got a standard shad wrap, that's just as good lure, just as good a lure. So don't go out buying these if you've already got something like this. But also there's other lures that are quite good. A new lure from Mark Outland, a little alphabet lure, shallow lure, works to about 3 foot. Got a little rattle in it. It's got some bigger lipped versions that'll dive deeper, so 5, 6, 7 foot. Really cheap. If you can't find your jointed repiler, have a look on Mark's page. Get these. I think they're $3.99, I think. And he's got a deeper lip version, so that'll cover that same sort of thing. I know the jointed repilers are a little bit hard to get hold of nowadays. Most shops don't have them, and if they do, they're £12 and £13. eBay's not bad, but you tend to be importing from Lithuania or somewhere. So I hope that's helped you. I know starting out, it's just umpteen million different combinations of outfits, rods, reels, and then when you start looking at lures, you want every lure. I still buy lures that look pretty and seem to do something different, but those 5 lures, either get those or get something pretty similar. Stick with those. Don't take out too many lures, and just go fishing with those, and you'll catch a fish. If a fish there, those lures should catch a fish. If you're not catching, move. If you're not catching, think about how you're working them, and try to be a little bit better. Biggest reason for people not catching, apart from lure choice, stay in contact, make sure that line's tight. If you're retrieving a lure and your line's slack, you're not going to feel them as a bite. Keep your line straight and tight. See a lot of people who are starting out fishing not really got contact with a lure, and they've had a bite and we didn't realise. So that's one of the most important things, so concentrate on that. Watch what your lure's doing by wearing a decent pair of polarised glasses. It helps you cut glare off the water, and you can see what your lure's doing. So you might be pulling that lure in, it might be like that. You're not going to catch a fish when it's like that. You might be pulling the spinner and it's not spinning. Seeing what your lure's doing, and also you might even see a fish behind it with the polarised glasses. So concentrate on what you're doing. My videos make it look easy, and at times it is easy. But if you're not catching, just get in the zone, get watching what you're doing, and watch what your lure's doing. If you're over 8 foot of water, get it down 8 foot of water. Get it down bottom. Get it working in that 6, 7 foot area. Watch what your lure does. First thing I do when I get a new lure, I cast it 6 foot out and wind it in, see what it does. I flick it, I wind in fast, I stop, see how fast it sinks, and that's what I do. Get to know your lure, get to know those 5 lures, and that's all you need. Simple, it really is that simple, lure fishing. and then just get out and get some time on bank, find places that you can fish. When one place ain't working, you can try somewhere else. Knowing that rivers in flood, so I've got a canal I can go to, or a still water I can go to, that's your main thing, because you just can't always get out. Weather conditions just don't help us sometimes. So knowing your waters, finding a good 8, 9, 10 waters that you can pick and choose, and that's it.